How is it going, everybody? Simply Luxurious, aka Luke's here. Today I have an awesome tutorial. Going to be showing you guys how to do a nice CC, aka photo edit of any kind of image you want, mainly like a player edit or anything like that. Just really nice. So just an example right here, what I have. If I take off my CC, this is what the original image looked like, and with all the stuff that I did, which I'm going to be showing you how to do, I made it look like this. So it definitely gives a darker theme. If you're into like lighter themes and popping stuff, this probably isn't for you, but this is for like a nice dark tone that really pops the colors that you want to see and dims the colors that aren't as important. It gives it a really good effect. So we're simply just going to hide that CC and get to work here. So make sure you have your original image. All I did right here is I googled Clayster on Clayster like HD images on Google. Simple to do that. If I can find this image again, I will put it in the link, and I'll put the link in the description so you can use the same photo and follow the exact same measurements that I'm gonna do. But nonetheless, let's get started. So the main thing that we're gonna want to do, guys, is have this nice adjustments tab open over here on our taskbar. Usually all of them are down here. Well, they're always down here, and that's what a lot of people have to go to, but that gets a little complicated, or not complicated, but just a little tedious. So you have to keep going down to add new adjustments. So if you don't have this bar up here, simply go to this top right corner where it says Essentials right here. You might have it set on any of these. This text section, you might have it on that. Simply go up here and click where it says Essentials. That's the one that we're going to want to be using, and that's what we're going to be working with here today. So once we have that, we're going to start our adjustments. We're going to want to add a hue and saturation, just normal hue and saturation, and grab our saturation bar, so right in the middle here where it says saturation, and drag it all the way down to -100. Now, what you're seeing here, you're like, what the fuck, Luke? I'm not trying to make a black and white image. I'm trying to add color and make it look dope as hell. That's what we're going to do. So once you add this, do not worry, my friends. We're gonna make this colorful again. So lower the opacity simply by going over here, hover over opacity, and you can just slide left and right to get it. I'd put this around anywhere around 50 to 65 for every image. On this image in particular, I think I'm gonna be using about a 53%, but keep in mind anywhere from like 50 to 65 is the range that you're going to want to be on depending on the image you're using. Next thing what we want to do is add a curve, and on this curve we're just going to want to drag the bottom left kind of side of it. If you look in the middle of look at it in terms like a graph, you would see, so this bottom left corner, use that somewhere like here and just drag down a little bit till we get till it's pretty dark. So just like that. Close that up again by hitting that arrow, and we're going to lower the opacity a little bit on this. So now all of a sudden you can see, like, oh my god, like this just made the colors look a lot better in my opinion, for lack of a better word, and it just looks really nice. So what we're going to do now is add another curve, but right away we're going to put this curve on an adjustment right here. So we're going to put it on luminosity because I know this one looks good. You can put it on soft light and overlay. I try to avoid overlay for a curve because it will just make it look really dark and it won't be as nice. But for this one on luminosity, you want to just make like a little S curve. This is what most designers do with curves. They make this little S, but for this design we want to do it really simple. So the bottom left axis, again, pull it down a little bit, and the top right axis, pull it up a little bit. Close that window, lower your opacity a little bit, and if you just want to see what that's doing, it did this. So it didn't do too much. It darkened some of the images and it made the colors pop a little more, make them a little more vibrant, and just appeal to the eye a little bit more. Next thing that we want to do, guys, is add an exposure. You can do this at the beginning or at the end. It doesn't matter because it just affects the general pop of the image. But I'm going to do it now. I'm going to put it around 0.8. I would say when I'm going to do 0.78, but I would say when you're doing exposure, go anywhere from about 0.75 to 0.9. Anything above that, your image is going to look really weird. And then gamma correction, obviously you can just play with this. I'm going to put it about a 0.86. I would say it's the same. 0.75 to 0.9 would be your ideal range. Lower the opacity just a tad bit on that because you don't want it to look like we're just darkening the image and everything. It won't look as good, trust me, guys. And once we have that, we're good for those adjustments. Next thing we want to do is add a gradient map. Now, for the gradient map, I highly recommend that you use the default one. So the black and white, depending on what image you're working with and what color scheme you really want to get, you can make different gradients and stuff. But I'm going to use the default one here. Which one do I like more? I like this one. So the black to white. And then we're going to put this on soft light. And then we're going to lower our opacity a little bit. What this did was really make the images a little darker, but also pop out the main colors that we want. So obviously for phase, we want to have the reds pop out to us and look better to the eye. And in the back, like the Gfinity background, everything kind of just blur out a little bit in the background so we don't have to worry about it, and you focus on the main image, which is obviously going to be Clayster. So next thing we want to do is pick a gradient, and for the gradient, it could be multiple things. I'm going to do the same thing. So black to white, the default one, and I'm going to play with this a little bit. We'll try overlay. I don't really like how overlay looks, just like that. So now we have a good lighting effect. So the bottom's a little darker, the top's a little light. Obviously we are going to add a glow to the top to get an even better lighting source, and we're going to work on some of the skin tones down here. Obviously, not to be like a racial type of dude or anything, Clayster is not black. Right here it looks like he's black, so we're gonna have to fix that, because just if you start looking into this image and stuff, you'll be like, what the hell, Clayster's black, like it just doesn't make sense, it doesn't flow with the image. So we're gonna have to fix that. We can fix that with an easy white brush tool and put it on overlay. Super easy, not a problem. Getting some text messages here from the flight group chat. So what we want to do now, there's actually right at the start, I'm going to go to my private pack really quick and get a nice glow. So close up all this stuff, and I'm going to pick out a simple glow to use. I'm going to use this glow, and I'm just going to put it on the top. So the glow that I'm using, obviously you just saw me pull it out of my private pack, so it's kind of like custom made, but if you don't have that or anything, you can simply make it yourself. Make a new layer simply with brush, so hit B on your keyboard, make sure you have white over here and you're on 0 hardness, and you can just like click anywhere at the top like that and then lower your opacity. So it's pretty much the same thing like I did. Obviously you can see, you know, the difference and stuff. This one is just a little more white, but you can just overlay the opacity a little bit more, but I think this one looks good for this specific one. Now what we want to do is we want to click on our last gradient fill we did and make a new layer above that. Make sure we're on our brush tool by clicking B on your brush tool, and make sure our selected color is white. So all the way white. You want to make it literally F because you want white. You don't want an off-tone white, you want white as can get. And we're just going to put this overlay system on, or we're going to put the adjustment layer on overlay right at the start. Zoom in a little bit by holding Alt and moving your cursor on your mouse, and just start coloring over his skin right here. Now this won't make it as perfect. As you saw in the last image that I did at the beginning of the video when I highlighted it, there is a big shadow right here, and when we added our curves and everything, the shadow really just affected that. So he is going to have that dark shadow, but that is fine because we can still get around with that. And then we're also going to use this all around his face to make his face pop a little bit more, because you don't want him to look like he's too dark, because then the lighting effects, guys, I mean, just personal preference, it starts to look unrealistic. This I think looks pretty good. We take it off, look at that, like you can see, like we made crazy edits. Might want to lower the opacity a little bit more on here, just like that. So it looks like he has a nice tan down here and his face is normal. I'm also going to add another layer above that, and I'm going to do the same thing, put it on overlay, and I'm going to work on his hat and jersey up here because I want that red to really pop. So I'm going to zoom in and hold Control and Alt to simply resize my brush. Control and Alt, and you scroll left right here, or push your mouse left, and it will lower it, and or make it smaller. You push it right, it will make it bigger, obviously. And then we're just gonna color in some of his hat right here, and see what we can get. This is gonna give us a really nice lighting tone that will just appeal to the eye, in my opinion. It will make it look not so much as like a boring red, and more of like I didn't mean to do that. Just more of something that looks nice and looks like, I don't know, like a good image, I guess you could say, because that is the goal here, obviously. So we're just going to go down there a little bit and get that, and we'll scroll out. You can see now, in general, when we take this off, the hat has a lot of more color in it. We're going to do the same. We're going to keep this on the same layer because we want the hat and his jersey to have the same color tone. Otherwise, it would just look really weird. And we're just going to color over his jersey. So get nice colors around here, bring out the white and the phase logo as well, and we're just going to cover over here. And I'm doing this very roughly, like I'm not making sure the edges are all perfect because this is a tutorial and I don't want to keep you guys here forever, but I really do want to get a little in depth so you guys at least understand what I'm doing. And then as you can see, if we take that off, just the colors pop a lot more there. We can do the same style one more time, so bear with me. This is kind of like a tedious thing, and we can go over the white part of the phase logo, or the actual phase logo in general now, and get it to do a really nice popping effect. And then keep in mind, guys, this is literally like the same process you can use on any photo. So if you're not doing the photo I'm doing, you can do the same thing. So now the FaZe logo itself pops. Like here it looks kind of dim, it looks kind of like blah, but now it's like white, you see it, you focus on it, and it's pretty awesome. So now that we have that, this CC is pretty much completed. So let's name it CC2. And if we do a comparison, like this is what that one looks like, this is what that one looks like. So pretty identical. One thing that I did now, after I had that CC, I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to go to my private pack and I'm going to pick a, what is it, like a dust or a particle type of thing. You can just Google these and get these really nice images that just look like this. They add just a cool effect in general. So I'm going to put some on this image right here. And you see it just kind of like glows upon. It has like these cool little effects and stuff, like camera lens. It looks pretty cool in my opinion, and I do it for literally everything that I do. It just looks so awesome. I love it. I think this is another one that's going to look good. This is just something that's going to faintly cover the background to make everything kind of pop a little bit more in the background. So it's you're not really going to like see it. You're just going to think it's part of the image, but it looks really good. We're obviously going to we're going to keep that like that. So yeah, so there's that. And then I think that's pretty much all I did. This now is looking pretty much like this. Oh yeah, we have to add one more thing. If you go up here, make a new layer, click M on your keyboard for your rectangle marquee tool, and select all of this. So go from the top, select all the way down so your whole image is covered. So go to select, modify, and border, and make sure your width is on 5 pixels for an image like this, typical like AVI style. And just hold Option or Alt Delete on your keyboard to get the white color. And then we have that. Simply move this to an overlay adjustment, lower the opacity a little bit. Now you have this nice like clean, smooth border that is highlighted. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's a nice CC edit. As you can see, the difference of the image. This is what the image started with. We made it like this. It looks absolutely awesome, in my opinion. And you can do so much more with this and just play around with it. But this is this, I guess, like simple starting method that you want to use for like if you're doing any kind of photo edit for a banner, for an AVI, for an advertisement, anything. I'll be sure to do this setup method. And yeah, if you guys do this style or this method, I guess you could call it, on any designs, be sure to link me to them. Tweet me a link or link it in the comments. I don't care. Do something though. Let me see it, because I would love to see what you guys can come up with here, because you can literally do this with any photo. It looks so awesome. And yeah, so thank you so much for tuning in to today's tutorial. We'll have another one out tomorrow as always. And yeah, if you guys want to know more on how to do this style, something a little more in-depth with Photoshop, because if you watch this tutorial and I did a couple of shortcuts that you didn't really understand, simply ask and I can make a tutorial showing you guys like top 5 shortcuts in Photoshop, anything like that. You guys want to see my methods. So anyways, thank you for watching this video. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out, guys.